All right, I think we're good to go. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the newest episode of the podcast. Super excited to have the Real Life Spartan with us today. He's a content creator. He's building a really unique audience and doing it in a different way to most of the people that we've been able to speak to. So really looking forward to getting his thoughts on everything coming up into the E3 announcement this weekend. Also, what he's looking forward to in Infinite. Get to know his content and his audience a little bit better. And hopefully we'll get some little tips in there as well for the type of stuff that he's done to get to the point that he's at right now. But do you want me to refer to you as Real Life Spartan? Or what do you want me to call you while we're chatting?
Copy that. That's good. Real Life Spartan's good, Liam.
Real Life Spartan's good. Excellent. All right. And so is there anything that I missed there in the intro?
I think you nailed it, man. I think you nailed it. That was smooth as butter. I think if the rest of the podcast goes like that, dude, we gotta sell out here. Sell out. It's gonna be perfect.
For sure.
No bloopers, nothing at all, from me especially.
Yeah, excellent. All right. Well, so I guess a good place that we generally start is just to get an idea around gaming. Like, have you been gaming since you were a kid, or is it something that kind of came in a little bit later for you?
Sure. Before I forget, thank you for having me on. I want to acknowledge that because I respect everyone out there for content, specifically around Halo, because it's a franchise obviously that I love and enjoy. So props for doing this, and shout out to Mint. I think he tagged me on Twitter.
He sure did.
It's like, Real Life Spartan, you're next. So
yeah.
But seriously, man, I appreciate it, Liam, and shout out to all of your supporters out there who are tuning in right now. The future hopefully will be very bright for us all.
Yeah.
We must believe in Infinite.
Yeah, we'll find out, I guess, in a few days as well.
Few days, very soon. But so the history with myself, with gaming, I did start at a very young age. The original Nintendo is probably my earliest memory of gaming, and Mario, but also Mortal Kombat. I remember playing the original Mortal Kombat, and then Sonic. That was a big one for me back in the day. The original Sonic on the Sega. But I've been gaming all my life, and used to just be down in the basement at the parents' house on this tube TV. Thing was so old school, man. Like, I'm talking like 80s. It was a beautiful thing, though. I miss that TV now that I think about it. That thing, my gosh, can't imagine where that is at, if anywhere, but a dumpster now. But anyway,
Yeah.
Been a long time, man. It's been a long time. It's been a good road.
Yeah. Can you imagine all the kids right now that wouldn't even know if we talked about the yellow, red, and white cables that you
dude. Oh my gosh, man. Yes.
Blue ones as well.
Game Shark, Game Genie, all that stuff from back in the day as well. Oh man.
There was a lot to it. Yeah. So you were a Nintendo kid growing up?
A little bit. I actually stuck with Nintendo up until the Nintendo 64. Had the N64. Fantastic. I mean, arguably probably the best console of all time. Yeah. Great console. And that for me was my first experience at like true 3D gameplay, especially in your house, with Super Mario World 64. But then I don't know, after that, this game called Halo kind of drifted into my life. There was, Counter-Strike on PC for a little bit, and Tribes, which isn't quite as known around the gaming scene. I don't know, Liam, if you've heard of the game Tribes before, but no, yeah, it was a hidden gem in the late 90s. Basically, it was like kind of think maybe like a Battlefield sci-fi game as far as player count goes. If I'm not mistaken, you could have I don't know if this was on the original Tribes, but you could have up to 128 players.
Whoa.
It was big. Now, did it run well? No, it didn't run very well, but it was a first-person shooter. You had jetpacks, and the maps were huge. So yeah, that's kind of where I went from Nintendo. I went to PC for a little bit and played Tribes and Counter-Strike, but then Halo came along, and that's the rest really has been history. That's been my focus. I've been playing other games from time to time, but not too often.
Yeah. So with Halo, how did you get your introduction into it? Was it something that like you got an Xbox for Christmas and then started playing, or like how did
Dude, so I did get an Xbox for Christmas, but I did not get an Xbox when CE originally launched. So I got into Halo because my brother actually was introduced from a friend of his, and they had played tons and tons of GoldenEye, right, on the 64. Such a good game.
Such a good game.
Oh my god, it's such
fun. Yeah.
Exactly. It's such a shame that they have not been able to replicate that due to licensing rights and whatever else. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, he played GoldenEye a lot with a good friend of his, and his friend, I don't know how he found out about Halo, but he did. And then he introduced my brother to it. And then I went into my brother's bedroom once. This isn't going. Don't worry. I went in and he was playing what I wasn't aware of at the time was Halo. And I'm like, what is this, Charlie? This looks really cool. He was driving around in the Hog during a campaign mission. And, just that kind of mysterious, atmosphere that we all get when we play most of the campaigns on Halo. Like I felt that and I was like, this has my attention. I'm intrigued.
Yeah. Well, there's something about Halo and like the first time that you ever see it where you're kind of just like, what is this universe going on behind the screen right now? It's got that magic that kind of pulls you in. Yeah.
And then when he explained about some of the features, the fact that you could do co-op, so we were able to sit there on the couch, or his futon, I should say, at the time, and play through the campaign split screen. That had me hooked, and that wasn't even diving into the multiplayer, which is ultimately where I always play. But the campaign enough was like putting me on, the edge of my seat, and I was like, okay, I don't have a whole lot of money, so I want this, but I have to wait till Christmas, because he found out about Halo probably about a year into its life cycle. So we didn't get into Halo CE until the middle of its life cycle. So yeah, I got the Xbox for Christmas, fortunately for my parents, and then I'll never forget going to my local Target, and I didn't realize Halo was rated M. So, I mean, to me, Halo, and I feel like the majority of people in the audience watching will agree, it's more so like a sci-fi, like Star Wars type violence. But I went to my local Target. I think I was like probably 13 or 14 at the time. And the lady at the register, she was like, "Oh, you can't buy this." I'm like, "Why not?" Like, she's like, "You're not old enough." I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "Oh, it's M for mature."
Yeah.
I'm mature. So anyway, I had to run out to the car and get mom to come in, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, good times.
That's crazy.
So yeah,
I'm pretty sure I bought my first copy that of Halo, which I came in at Halo 3, but I think I bought it from Target as well. So
nice, dude. I of all the places, I have no idea why I chose Target. Maybe it was on sale at Target.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Come to think of it, I think part of it may have been the fact that I'd gone to PC for several years, so I wasn't really aware of like game crazies. I don't know if those are in Australia or Canada, but back in the day there was Hollywood Video and Game Crazy, and then there was Blockbuster Video and Game Rush, and like I don't know, I went to Target for for whatever reason. I'm going with the Target.
Yeah.
So, but
cool. So how old were you at that point when you were playing? That was CE you're talking about? That's the first.
That was CE. That was CE, and so it came out in 2001.
Yeah.
I think, right, Liam?
Yeah.
2001, and I think I got into it the following year. Unfortunately, I didn't have it right at launch. Man, it's okay though. That's okay. We almost had a golden opportunity for another Halo game at launch, right? But let's not go there right now. Let's not go there right now. It's okay. It's all good. It'll work out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know how old I was then. 01. Let's see. I was born in 87, so I was like 14, give or take, probably.
Oh, dude,
14.
You came into it at a really great time then as well.
Dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you get to experience lands and stuff? Like when did that come in? Did you get to do any of that?
Yeah, sure. So mostly on the local front. So we would set up lands with friends at our middle school, at our high school, and we would cram.
Yeah.
It's LAN party time, baby. Like we would cram, 16 to 20 people in somebody's parents' basement,
Yeah.
bags of Cheetos and empty cans of Mountain Dew everywhere, playing until 4 or 5 in the morning.
Yeah.
But yeah, LANs are something that I miss so greatly. I'm sure you do too.
Dude,
But mostly as far as like my LAN experiences, they were local. Partially because of my age at the time. So I will say one thing, which I'm so lucky and fortunate that my brother and I discovered this, was XB Connect for Halo CE. Are you familiar at all with XB Connect, Liam?
No.
Yeah. So XB Connect was, you said you came in around Halo 3, right?
Yeah. But
Okay.
End of Halo 3. I think I got a good year of Halo 3 before Reach came out. So it would have been like 2011,
awesome.
something like that.
I love it, dude. I love it. Do you remember the population counter on the menu?
Yeah.
I'd love to see that come back for Infinite.
I ever saw it was like 600,000 or something like that. Can you imagine?
Dude, right? And you see it glowing, and it's kind of similar to your background right now, right?
Yeah.
Like, dude, you just see yeah, dude. That's exactly it, pretty much, man.
Yeah.
I love it. But yeah, man, I would just get a kick out of that. Every time I logged on to Halo 3, I'd be like, dude, look at all these people playing everywhere.
Yeah.
These people playing on that little island on the other side of the world. I don't even know what that island is, but there's people playing Halo over there right now.
Yeah.
It's a worldwide phenomenon.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, to get back to Halo CE really quick, it basically was like a user-made version of Xbox Live to allow you to connect to other players on Combat Evolved.
That's cool. I didn't even know that existed.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we I don't even know how we found out about it, but it opened up so many more opportunities because Halo 2 had, it had online functionality integrated, but Halo CE, it did not have that. So unless you were playing locally or playing LAN, you didn't have any other options. But then somebody out there, some genius, made XB Connect, and it would let you search. It had like a custom game browser. You could search and connect to other Xboxes anywhere.
Wow.
It had limitations, sure. You could only have up to 4 Xboxes total, if I'm not mistaken. So like I'll never forget, like we would have people over, right? My brother and I, we'd have 2 of our buddies over. So we'd have a stacked Xbox with 4 players, and we'd put that like in our lobby like title screen, like, we have 4 players looking for another Xbox with 4 players or whatever. So we could get like an even 4v4 or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, XP Connect was, it was cool, man. It was cool.
Those are some memories though, that like, kids these days won't ever get to have that, right? They get on, it's that easy. And you've got this wonderful history there of being able to get online and play people and experience those LANs like that. So that's really awesome. And then
it was cool, man.
When did like matchmaking come into it for you? When did you get to be able to start doing that? Was because C, and then we had Halo 2, obviously, and then I feel like Halo 3 is probably. Where'd you play your most Halo as well?
Sure, yeah, H2 and H3, without a doubt, is where I played my most Halo online. I think that was partially due to the my age at the time. I was high school for Halo 2. Halo 3 came out my freshman year of college. I somehow still got through college. I don't know. Took a little bit longer. I have Halo 3 to thank for that, probably. But as far as matchmaking,
vote for you with that. There's a lot of people.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. Absolutely. As far as matchmaking goes, though, Halo 2 from the get-go, like day one, it was just seamless how well online worked on Halo 2. It was better than Xbox Live's UI, in my opinion, outside of Halo. Like, you had the integrated friends list in Halo 2. Press Y to pull your friends list up. Invites generally worked when you sent them out to your buddies or sent them out to recent players. Like, it was designed so well to just keep you hooked and engaged match after match. And the depth that there was with the release of Halo 2 just still blows my mind to this day. It has features that we still don't see in modern games. I won't talk forever on this, but like,
no, it's good.
A lot of people probably who played Halo 2 are aware of this, but for those of you that may not be aware, Halo 2 had ranked matchmaking. It had social matchmaking, which, you know, we see those. Granted, we didn't see it in Halo 4. We won't go there. And I'm not trying to bash Halo 4. I'm just very disappointed the game didn't have ranked matchmaking, especially at launch. They kind of built something in later to the effect of having your rank visible, but I think it was only visible to you.
Yeah. It was messy, whatever it was.
It was weird. And it was like, you have to log into the Waypoint app on your phone to see it or something. I'm like, dude, just like plaster it on my name. Like, I worked hard for this, you know? Yeah. But H2 also had major clan match, which is cool, right? You could get some buddies, you could make a clan, and you could search BTB, but basically it was like ranked BTB with your clan, and then minor clan match as well. So, I mean, there were loads of other things H2 did that was awesome, like proximity chat. If you got close enough to an enemy, you could hear him talking. Let's say you BXR him, and then you hear him start cussing you out, but then the mic just cuts out. It just does like this. It just does like this like audible death noise and like cuts off and like I don't know, dude. H2, but I hit the ground running with H2 and H3. As far as matchmaking goes, like I was hooked, man. I was already sold after playing CE with XP Connect, and then that was just like the cream of the crop for me with H2 and H3.
Yeah. And so what was the mindset? Were you always like a pretty social player? Like just wanted to get on, just play as much as possible? Or were you going hardcore into the rank side of things? Like,
Yeah, that's a good question. Real good question. Honestly, I was more so with Halo 2 and Halo 3, I was more so into the hardcore ranks, right? But I never, and I'm still disappointed to this day, I never really tried to take that next step to see if I could even potentially compete at a pro level. I was more so like an online warrior, right? Like I would get together with my buddies from high school, and we would just compete online together and try to push towards getting that rank 50. And so that's where I found myself the majority of the time. Now that I've taken on streaming, it's a couple things, combination of things. Number one, the the population with MCC is relatively low. So I do try to search ranked sometimes, and occasionally I'll get lucky, but more often than not, we're just sitting there for several minutes still searching. And when I'm streaming, and trying to keep the energy up, like that just makes things challenging.
Doesn't cut it. Yeah.
Makes it challenging. And then the second part of it is like, if I'm streaming, there's so many other pieces at play. So I'm monitoring chat, I'm toggling scenes. I'm trying to play the game well, or kind of well. I mean, if anyone's tuned into my streams, they know it's either hit or miss, and that's part of what makes it.
Pull up some amazing things, man. So I wouldn't understand.
Hey, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. But yeah, in a nutshell, I used to play a lot more competitively than I do now. I'm hoping with Halo Infinite, assuming there's some type of ranked system, I can kind of dive back into that when I'm able to, get a party together and just find matches quicker, But yeah, that'll always hold a special place in my heart with H2 and H3's 1 to 50 ranking system. Did
you get 50s?
So I got a 50 in Halo 3, which I think 50 in Halo 3 was much easier. I mean, there's really no argument. It was much easier to obtain a 50 in Halo 3. I was a 50 in Team Slayer, which is, I mean, a lot of people could get that if you had a good team, I still pull my weight, but I will say Lone Wolves was tough. I think I got a 49. I think I was a 49 in Halo 3 Lone Wolves. It was such a tease. I was so bummed out. I never could get it. I remember ranking down to a 48, and I was like, God, man, it's never gonna happen now. It's never gonna happen. But I got a 50 in Slayer. Halo 2, that was another creature in its own with the ranking system. I mean, it was just so hard to rank up, and then you had modders that were flying around on Warlock and doing whatever else. So that one, no, I never got a 50 in H2. I think I got to I was in the low 40s. I remember because the low 40s had like the cool little like burnt orange, reddish, like squares around the rank. So I got somewhere in the low 40s.
Yeah.
But that was as high as I could get there, and I was really happy with that, honestly.
Yeah. And so, when did the content creation side of things come into it? Was it that early on, or was it later into like Halo 4, Halo Reach?
I gotta take a swig of my blood of the flood.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah. For the audience, we were talking about how disgusting that looked, and realized that that's what the blood of the flood would look like.
Copy that.
Yeah.
So, content creation for me, it started really early on, actually, with YouTube back in 2007. It was kind of accidental. I had been editing and making videos pretty much all my life because I grew up skateboarding. So I do like some skateboarding videos with buddies, and I would occasionally do some random just like clay animation videos and stuff as a kid. So I always kind of enjoyed having the camera and just exploring that creative outlet. But for me, in terms of Halo and where we've gone now, it started in 2007 on YouTube, and it was just a coincidence, really, because I made my first suit of armor at the time. So for those Spartans out there watching right now, this is my second suit of armor here. The first set looks like something out of Nintendo 64. No joke, Liam. It's like, bro, it's something that I just mashed together with less than a month to go for Halo 3's midnight launch. So it's just like, it's grind time. We got to get this done.
Yeah.
But I put up a video. It's like a 15 or 20-second clip on YouTube, and it was like, I don't even remember what it was titled now. Maybe my armor for Halo 3.
Yeah.
I think that might be what it was titled.
You keep talking. I'm gonna try and find it.
Yeah. It was just a random little clip, and I just put it on YouTube mostly as a test to make sure I knew how to upload videos properly.
Oh, man, that armor looks great. I'll put this on the we're going to see. So that was.
Are you sure you got the right video saying that armor looks great? I respect it.
Is it the you uploaded it 13 years ago, Master Chief armor?
I got the space diaper on then. That's me, man. Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah.
I like it.
Oh yeah, that is me. I can hear it.
Yeah. I had to check.
I love it.
That looks
good. No, that's good.
So you made that?
Thank you. Yeah. So yeah, I made that. I got so excited about. I mean, if it's not clear that I love Halo by now, like I don't know what else I can really say, honestly. But I was so excited for Halo 3 after seeing the trailers and everything. And I noticed on, I think it was the official Xbox magazine cover, I want to say it was Nightmare Studios made Spartan armor. And I hadn't even put two and two together until I saw that cover. And I thought, dude, like, that'd be so cool to try to make a suit of armor and wear it to a midnight launch. I don't know why, like that really just like got me really excited. I was like, I want to be a freaking Spartan, man. And I want to go pick up Halo 3 at the midnight launch and have the employee hand it to me in my Spartan armor. I just thought that'd be epic. So yeah, I looked online a little bit, and it didn't take long before I found a place called the 405th Forums. Amazing armor resource for anyone out there. So anyone interested in making anything from Halo, Halo armor to weapons, or even different franchises. I mean, they got Star Wars, Gears of War, they got all kinds of stuff on there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got on there, did a little bit of research, and just hit the ground running with it, I guess, so to speak. And yeah, that was my first video I put on YouTube, and I got an email. I'll never forget. I got it because I wasn't keeping tabs on the video at all. I uploaded it, and I mean, that was my first video ever. I didn't even really understand YouTube a whole lot, and I just wanted to make sure the video would upload and not have any errors as far as format or whatnot. And then I got an email like a week or two later, and it was like, congratulations, like your video's received over like 30,000 views or something. And I'm like, wait, what? Like, and then at the bottom it said like, you have an option to monetize this video because it's so popular or something. I'm like, what's all this mean?
Yeah.
So like I clicked it and check marked it, and I made a little bit of money off of it, nothing crazy. But at the time, you know, a little bit of money was really exciting to me. I didn't even realize, like, wait, I'm just trying to put this up, like, to see if it'll work, and also just to try to connect with other Halo fans. Like, check this armor out, everybody, or I don't know. Like, I didn't realize I could also make a little bit of money off of it. So that was, that was cool.
Yeah, no, I get it. So it was like it was a passion, something that you really just enjoyed. You're just sharing that passion, and then other people jump on board and go, "We also like that passion. We like that thing as well." Because what are we? 13 years later, and we've got 129,000 people have viewed that video. And
no kidding.
Yeah, so that is.
Oh my gosh.
And then you did another one that was my armor for Halo 3, and that was 13 years ago as well. That had 71,000 views. So.
Let's go.
Yeah. So,
yeah, I got some I remember I did get quite a few. I got quite a few dislikes on one of them. But it's funny, like the dislikes happened later on, like years and years later. People are like, that armor's garbage. Like initially, people are like, whoa, like I've never really seen anybody wearing Halo armor before. And then like as we progress towards like Halo Reach and onward, people are like, oh my gosh, that armor. And I'm just like, you gotta just take it in. It's the nostalgia. It's the nostalgia.
Yeah.
But Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was going to cut you off. I was saying I love it. And I'm watching the video now and I'm thinking, but I guess I saw 13 years ago, like as I watched it. So I'm like in that mind frame where I'm like, wow, for a first dig at creating armor and doing that, it's awesome. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure. Appreciate that, man.
So when did you transition? So you've only had two. So you went from that to the one you're wearing now? Or?
Yeah, sure. So the one I'm wearing now, I don't know how this is still together. I mean, you can kind of see wrong arm. We got some battle damage up on the shoulder here.
Yeah.
I mean, there's cake batter all over this thing. It smells so awful. But you just got to suck it up and be a Spartan.
Yeah.
But yeah, I never envisioned when I made this, Liam, that I would wear it for over 1,000 hours, which is where we're at now with streaming. I made this for Halo Reach's midnight launch, actually. So it's actually come a long way since Halo Reach's launch. And what I mean by that is it's had 3 color changes, right? Originally it was like a blue silver.
Yeah.
Then it went to burnt orange for Halo 4. And then for the Master Chief Collection to, celebrate coming back home to the original installments, I wanted to go with the Chief Green. So it's had 3 different armor coatings, if we're referring, I think that's what they call them in Infinite, right? The armor coatings. That's what's coming, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, so it's had 3 different armor coatings. I've smoothed and just made it look more detailed over the years as well. But notably, one thing that I did take off is I used to have, like, for Halo Reach, I wanted to try to show off like how some more customization was coming for Spartan armor. So I did have like one of the I don't remember what might have been the close quarters combat shoulder shield thing or something. I had some big awkward bulky thing stuck on one of my arms that I wore up there for the midnight launch. But yeah, we built this back, 2010, I guess.
Yeah.
So not much longer after my first set of armor.
Yeah.
Like 3 years later. So I mean, this suit is old, man.
Yeah. It's
being held together by Gorilla Tape.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna have to get you a new one, man. We're gonna have to get it because I've seen some of these guys on Instagram, especially. They share these suits of armor and the things that they've got. Hopefully, the next ones can be a little bit more comfortable. We're saying before we started, that's not very comfortable. That one.
Sure. Yeah. Anybody watching out there, if you want to hook me up with a fresh set of armor, feel free.
Yeah. Because you got
play, and it's so much work, man. Right? To build this armor, you have to scale it to your body size, which the scaling process in itself is like a separate challenge because, I mean, I scaled the chest piece too big originally. I scaled the biceps were good. The forearms were too small. Like, it's like trial and error, right? It's probably improved a lot since when I built it, but when I first built it, not as many people had tried tackling armor before. So the resources were there, but it wasn't like catered specifically to your body type, if that makes sense. Like the files from the game were all designed to be for the Master Chief, 7-foot chief. So like it was definitely some wiggle room.
Yeah.
But yeah, the new armor, my hope is to use EVA foam. Because yeah, Liam, like you were talking about, there's a lot of like gnarly, like awesome looking builds out there now. And the EVA foam, like lighter, it's flexible. Whereas this, it's reinforced internally with titanium weight plates. It's got lots of Bondo inside of it. What I'm getting at is it weighs a lot. And especially like after you wear it week after week, like to midnight launch, not a big deal. Like suck it up, wear it for 5 or 6 hours. You got the adrenaline going from the crowd and being surrounded by Halo fans. No big deal there, right? But yeah, I cannot. What's that? I'm sorry.
You reckon it could take a bullet?
Hey, that'll be for the next podcast, maybe.
Okay.
We did have an idea. My brother and I had an idea to take Armor 1.0, and I would wear it, and then he would shoot me with his paintball gun. And his gun, I mean, paintballs can hurt, right? Yeah. But his gun, it was one of like, he still has it. It's one of those like electronic ones, like full auto. So he was gonna drain the hopper, like 150 paintballs into me with the armor on. So, but yeah, the bullet thing. Yeah, I don't know if I maybe next podcast we can test that theory. Whiff it on a mannequin, right? On a mannequin. Actually, hey, hold on. Wait a second. We got one here. Just in time for the flood member.
We do.
So we'd be good, right? Just strap it on here.
Yeah. And just
this is good. This is a good flood member. He's been with me on every single stream.
Yeah, that's perfect. Chuck the suit on him, do like a Master Chief / flood crossover, and then drain some bullets in.
It could be. You might be onto something for Halo Infinite. I could see, that could come into the multiplayer.
Yeah,
could be cool.
Yeah, maybe that could be the infection mode as well.
Ooh, yeah.
But that's so cool. How much do you reckon that suit would weigh? Have you ever weighed it before?
I have not. Whole suit with everything. It's not terrible, but it definitely you can notice it's on, especially after you've been wearing it for a while.
Yeah.
I would say the pieces that I wear during stream, if I had to guess, I'd say probably 10 to 15 pounds.
Yeah.
So I have about 10 to 15 pounds of weight just pressing against my shoulder at any given time. So it's kind of like wearing a heavy backpack, right?
Yeah, it gets so uncomfortable. You just want a game.
Right. And also, like, I can't really lean comfortably against my chair. So my postures, whatever posture I had before is completely shot. Because if I try to like lean comfortably against my chair, the back just digs into my neck, right? And I've tried to put foam on that section to kind of relieve some of that pressure, and it just didn't do anything, unfortunately. So like I hunch forward a little bit when I game, and then the arms don't allow me to rest right against how I generally would. It's kind of hard to describe, but like,
oh, I know what you're saying.
When I game, I just, I got my arms rested by my side, whereas with the armor on, the arms are bowed out a little bit. So yeah, I've kind of adapted and evolved as, I am a real life Spartan, obviously, but it's definitely like another challenge that I have to take on. And it's a good excuse though when I miss a snipe shot though. It was the armor. Yeah. Take the suit off.
No, I love that. You've got to have those pillows there to fall on, just in case.
Right.
That's so cool. All right, and so give me the quick rundown of Reach and Halo 4 for you? Because that, like, obviously we were talking about Halo 3 was just this amazing peak with so many people online all the time. And then we had
Sure.
Reach and Halo 4 where we kind of see it start to kind of slope. Were you still like 100% all in on Halo through those times? Like, were you still playing a lot, creating content around it? Or did you kind of drift off into other games for a little bit?
Yeah. So Halo Reach, I was still on board with for the most part. It wasn't my favorite Halo game. Campaign I enjoyed. Multiplayer I had my qualms with. But Halo Reach I was still pretty heavily invested. I was still pretty heavily invested. The new ranking system it kept me engaged. I want to say there were seasons. I think Halo Reach's ranking system had seasons, perhaps very much like what we saw in Halo 5. But yeah, I was still pretty invested with Halo Reach. Halo 4, not so much, unfortunately. It kind of worked out for the best in a lot of ways because I was getting towards the end of my schooling with college, and I had to kind of get into that laser focus mode. So it might have been for the best, honestly, just for myself. I was put off from Halo 4 from a multiplayer standpoint. I enjoyed the campaign. I thought the campaign looked gorgeous overall. I thought the campaign was pretty solid, but the multiplayer, while I still played it, it just felt way too much like a step in the wrong direction. And I think that's pretty evident when you look across, the community, the response that it received. There's definitely still some people out there that really enjoy Halo 4 and hold it dearly. I had my fun moments in the BTB modes on Halo 4 from time to time. Like, I think the map was Exile. It's a pretty cool map. But all in all, I was pretty busy with Halo 4's release. And the content as a whole, I never really had a clear goal or path with my YouTube channel, other than I wanted to just have fun and film whatever was interesting to me at the time. So as far as like my Halo content goes, it was just like sporadic throughout Halo Reach, throughout Halo 4, and still to this day. But with Halo 4, it just, I don't know. It just,
Yeah, no, I get it. It's from what you're describing, it's what a lot of people experienced with Halo 4 as well. It's
sure.
kind of a little bit deflating, but you try to take the highlights that you got.
Yeah, I was pretty. Yeah, at the time I was pretty frustrated with Halo 4. The ranking system removal. There were just so many things I was like scratching my head about, and it just tried to be. It tried to be a game it didn't have to be. It went so overboard with the Call of Duty stuff, in my opinion, and like. Doesn't have to, like, Halo already has its own identity. Like, you gotta tried and true formula here. Let's just
focus on the strengths instead of trying to build on what other games have. Sure. So tell me about the Twitch side of things. When did you start the actual live streaming? How long ago was that?
That's a really good question, right? It's so crazy how it all happened. So I started, as on YouTube randomly from 2007. Until now, I guess you could say I'm still on YouTube a little bit. I try to do videos every now and then. So Twitch came in around, I want to say it was November. Okay, so it was November of 2018. That's not when I started streaming, but that's when I saw there was a grassroots announcement video that came out, and it had Vetoed in it, Uber Nick, Nated, I think Action Man. Anyway, it was like this trailer that I saw on Halo Waypoint's website promoting this grassroots organization that tries to put some content creators into the spotlight for the Halo community to see. And after watching the trailer, because I was not very active with stream knowledge at all. Like I would occasionally get on Twitch to watch the Halo tournaments with H5 and MCC, but I wasn't actively on Twitch to see what it was all about. I didn't really know about streamers in general. I didn't really understand the platform, to be honest. I tried streaming on my YouTube channel back in 2015 because I had a decent a couple thousand subscribers. I was really pumped about that. It's a big accomplishment, even to this day, right? I'd be really excited about that. So I tried to stream on YouTube, and unfortunately at the time I had, and I still do have, the same MacBook Pro, but I was just out of college, didn't have a whole lot of money, and I was having technical difficulties. I would try to go live, I'd get errors left and right, frames dropping, the my webcam would freeze, and like it just never really worked, and I never really had the opportunity to see what potential might have been there. I had like one or two people that would tune in, and they always enjoyed the streams, but they were far and few between. I probably streamed maybe 10 times total over the course of like 6 months, and I just kept getting errors. So yeah, in a nutshell, and I know I'm just talking and talking, so I apologize. Feel free to cut me off at any point.
Oh, dude, I love it. It's about you and about hearing the story. And I find that so interesting that because you already did have that kind of following that was building on YouTube. So it's interesting that you kind of started with that, gave it a little bit of a crack, because for a lot of people, I think Twitch especially, in the early days, it was like, is this going to work? Can I do it? There was like a lot of like questions and barriers of entry before you could actually really get going in it. But then when you changed over to Twitch, did you find it hard to start building up an audience? And when did you feel like you started running a little bit with it?
Yeah. So good one there too as well, because that's something I didn't touch on. But when I started on Twitch in 2019, I started from scratch. Years prior, when I was entertaining the idea of streaming on YouTube, I put out a video on YouTube to get followers on Twitch, because my brother kept saying, "Hey man, like if you're gonna stream, like you got to get on Twitch. Yeah. That's where the audience is." Yeah, okay. And I just kept telling him, I said, "But Charlie, like, dude, I got like 2,000 or so subscribers here on YouTube. Like, I already got an established community here." But little did I know, my channel, if you ever take a peek at it, it's all over the place, from skateboarding to unboxing reviews for random stuff like an electric lawnmower. Like, it didn't really have a clear path, so I didn't get
in there as well, and a few other things.
Yeah. I never really got like a core Halo audience. Sure, there were some Halo subscribers, but like I didn't see that when I would go live. Whether I don't know if it was like YouTube's integration where it just wasn't notifying my subscribers or what, but like I never saw that success with YouTube. And even after I made a video telling people to go check out my Twitch channel, like I linked my Twitch channel that I had never streamed on before, but I thought, oh man, this video will get me a couple hundred, followers on Twitch. Easy.
Yeah.
It's done deal. And it was so deflating to me to see that I got maybe 5 followers out of the video, right? I just didn't get anything from it. And I think that's something that people overlook even to this day, is if someone has to click a link to be portaled to some other website or some other platform, like they just generally don't want to do that. They're comfortable where they're at already. So yeah, I started on Twitch in 2019 from scratch. I saw that grassroots announcement video. I thought, okay, that'd be awesome. Like, I would love to work towards trying to be someone in the community that could help represent Halo in a positive light. Another piece that drove me to try streaming again was I didn't realize how far streaming had come. I just thought of streaming as a microphone and the webcam. But then I saw Dr. Disrespect playing, I think H1Z1 at the time, and I saw his scenes, I saw his effects, and I thought that is a level of creativity that I would love to try to jump on and roll with, because I just get bored so easily. And I'm always looking for new ways to try to push myself from a creative point of view. And I didn't realize any of that was possible. So when I saw that I could potentially throw myself on a warthog between matches, or go walk on lockout top mid, during a hype train with a shake weight or something, I just was 100, like I was, no joke, 117% ready to give it a shot. And I just decided, it was towards the beginning of the new year, and I made it my resolution for 2019 to try streaming on Twitch. So here we are.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so we're about 3 years later now. At what point did you kind of get that feeling, hey, this could work. And like, because you're obviously grassroots partner now, so congratulations on that, because that was
Thank you.
that was the thing that got you going by the sounds of it. You saw that announcement with Nick and Vito and those guys, and you went, hey, I'd love to, have that happen as well. And then over time, you got there, which is an awesome story. But run me through quickly how that kind of happened. Did it kind of really slowly build up? Did you just have like a really big shout out from someone else in the scene that brought you a ton of followers and regular viewers? Like, how did you get to that point?
Yeah. Good question. Yeah. So it was pretty, it's kind of hard to kind of gauge with, I guess, other streamers or other games, because MCC, as you know, it's not necessarily too popular at the moment, Halo in general, but I feel like that could have worked to my advantage some, right? Because there weren't as many people to be discovered out there. But it was slow initially, but that didn't last for very long. I'll never forget, like, my first several streams, I always had 1 or 2 viewers, and I would always try to engage the viewers and ask them questions or just try to keep them in the stream. And like, it turned out they were just bots. I'm like, oh, cool. Thanks, Electric Longboard. I appreciate you tuning in again. Nice to see you. Hope your day's been well.
Yeah. It's good practice though, I think, even with the bots.
Yeah. Sure. So, I mean, there was definitely a few months there at the beginning where it was just me, myself, and I. And I had the mindset from the get-go, and I still do to this day. My biggest takeaway with streaming, as far as growth goes, is like, you have to put it into perspective from a viewer's point of view, right? You should celebrate any win you get. Anytime that somebody takes a few minutes out of their day to tune in, like, you should celebrate that.
Yeah.
And so I carry that with me still to this day, and I try to just keep that positive mindset and just be thankful and appreciative that there are, men and women out there that even want to tune in and say hi, or follow me or subscribe. So I think having that mindset helped with the growth, and I think it still helps with the growth to this day, because I do legitimately like appreciate everything. Like, from one bit to just like a kind message in the chat during the stream, like, it's cool to me because I'd be playing Halo regardless. It is a lot of work to do what I'm doing though. Like, I'm playing Halo, but I'm also doing 10 other things at once. But it was slow. It was slow for, the first few months, but it was steadily climbing. It never was going up and down like a roller coaster, right? Like, I was closing in on 100 followers, and Brett Nated raided me. I barely even knew what a raid was at the time. I didn't even really understand it, but I saw several hundred people were all of a sudden in my stream, and including Nated himself. So like, that was probably, to answer your question, that was probably my first big break. And I saw some new followers from that, and my viewership might have gone from 5 average viewers to maybe 10 average viewers, right? So that was an eye opener for me, because I went back and I watched Nated's rebroadcast, and I saw like how highly he spoke of me, like before he rated me. And I thought, golly, maybe I am onto something here, right? Like, I got the MVP of Halo, one of the top Halo streamers out there, showing and giving me such a big endorsement. So after that raid happened, we took the 2013 MacBook Pro, which is still hanging out. I still got it, man.
Yeah.
It's a good, I mean,
events and
this is I got that mint condition cover on there. Hey man, it's a great like little device for like photo and video editing still to this day. Occasionally use it, but that's what I was streaming on. And I somehow was able to get by on Twitch for the first few months using it. I mean, the streams looked rough. They looked rough, but they looked better than YouTube. I think, just the tech improved with integration over the years. But anyway, after Nate raided me, that was my green light to go drop some money on a PC. Yeah. So we scrambled. We didn't waste any time at all. We just got to pre-build as quick as we could. I went up to Best Buy and I'm like, dude, I got to get a PC for streaming.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, well, like I got some here, but I can also help you on the side if you want. Like we can put one together. And I was like, dude, I just need it quick. Great guy. He was very knowledgeable.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that's kind of where we took off after that point. We got the PC. I was able to do so many more scenes. I was able to increase the bit rate, all that good stuff, get the videos looking a little better. So
yeah. Well,
I just gave you like a 15-minute response, man.
No,
every single response is just going to be.
That's good.
At any point, though, feel free to put this up. Put this up.
This is honestly all about you, and like I'm hoping that we generally have about 100, 150 people that will listen to the podcast and watch it on YouTube, right? So that's so awesome, man. I would rather all of those people get to hear your 15-minute answer and be like, wow, that's who the Real Life Spartan is. You know what I mean? Like that's what his journey was. Then you be trying to shorten it, and you trying to
sure.
So it's good, man. You just go. If you've got another 15 minutes you wanted to go about, you just keep going, right? It doesn't matter. I love it.
I respect that.
I do have some things that, like, as you're talking, right? I feel like I try to keep it around an hour, but I feel like you and I could just keep going for hours, because as you're talking, I keep thinking of more and more things that I want to know, and I want to bring it more to like present day. So, where do you kind of
hit me with it? Are you ready to do a LAN? We're gonna do a LAN?
Dude, I am. If I could get out of Canada and be there, I'd be setting it up. I'll bring all the Xbox. So where do you sit right now with like current viewership? Like when you load up the stream and everything's kind of rolling, where does kind of that average viewership land?
Yeah, sure. So it's been in the. It's funny you ask, because for the longest time I was pushing not only for the grassroots partnership, but I was also pushing for the Twitch partnership.
Yeah.
And that magic number is 75. I don't know anyone that works at Twitch. I don't know what happens behind the scenes, but I can tell you, I applied to be a Twitch partner probably 10 times at least, and I just thought, God, man, if they would just look at my channel, see the amount of energy and effort that's going on, like I think we'll be able to get partnered this time. Yeah. And I applied. The last time I had applied, my average viewership was like at 75. I was like, okay, we got it. We got to 75, and we still got declined. I'm like, gosh, man. But then we really started to ramp up and take it away. To answer your question. I can be anywhere between, 60 average viewers to 120 average viewers, give or take. That's kind of my sweet spot. I would say to be safe, I'm usually right in the middle of that, sitting anywhere between 80 to 100 average viewers right now.
Yeah. Wow.
So
you're someone that is, how many days a week do you stream?
Yeah, so I stream on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So I'm streaming 3 days a week. And I'm streaming. I aim to start around 8 p.m. Eastern. So I aim to start around 8 p.m. Eastern. My supporters out there, they'll be able to tell you that doesn't always happen, but usually if I'm going live on that evening, I'll be live by 30 after the hour.
Yeah,
give or take. So
cool.
Yeah,
3 times a week, generally starting around 8. Then on top of that, you've got a little one we were talking about just before we started.
Yes. Yes.
Is it Heidi? Did you say?
It is Heidi. Here you go. Actually, we'll make this an engaging podcast here. I have a photo of her.
She's so gorgeous.
Thank you.
And so she's 14 months, I think you said?
Yeah, so she'll be 14 months actually Monday.
Yeah.
Or no, wait, I'm sorry, the 12th. So that's Saturday, I think, right? Yeah, so the day before all this awesome Halo Infinite stuff's dropping. So yeah, she'll be 14 months. So Saturday.
You're 14 months old and you're working full time, right?
I am. I am. Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. So yeah, just to recap what you said, working full time, and then 3 nights a week I'm streaming, and we have our little baby girl. So my life is always in motion for the most part, and I've just been able to make it work so far. It'll be interesting to see with Halo Infinite. Yeah. I don't know what to really expect as far as, the growth on my stream. I've just kind of rolled with it all along. I've just kind of rolled with it, and I don't expect anything, Yeah. I think that's the best mindset to have, is just not to expect anything and try to have fun and run with it. So, yeah, as of now, I'm still staying busy with the full-time job. I know I get people asking all the time, man, when are you going to try to stream full-time?
Yeah.
Well, you know, it's not that easy. You know, if I was 10 years younger,
like it to be? Is that what you'd like to do? Would you like to be able to stream full-time?
I would like to try it out. I think it would be a challenge in itself, for sure, to try to not, you know, experience that burnout. I would like to try it out. I definitely would like to give it a shot, because my figures and my growth are all based off, I mean, quite literally based off streaming part-time. You take a look at my hours per month, for example, they're, you know, 5 times less, if not more, than some of these other full-time Halo streamers out there. But then when I look at some of my metrics, like my followers per hour, and I see where those are at, it shows some promise, and it makes me wonder, right? Like, you know, we're showing steady growth every time we go live. But like I was saying, you know, if I was 10 years younger, you know, I was at a different point in my life 10 years ago. I wouldn't change anything at all that's happened. But there's just a new added responsibility now that I'm a father, you know, have to be able to provide. And then there's the whole piece of health insurance, where, you know, we could figure it out. We could figure it out. I could shop around and see what kind of providers are out there, but you know, there's just a lot of pieces at play, right? So it's a lot to think about, you know? So.
Yeah. Well, I find that super interesting, because I think a lot of people that come in and watch your stream would presume that that's what you do, because you're so engaging, you're so entertaining, the quality of what you put out nonstop is just at that level where people automatically presume, hey, this guy is professional and he does this for a living. That's what people would just.
Thank you. I appreciate that, man.
It's the truth, and I don't think anyone would disagree.
Sound the alarms.
Get
I tried to turn the volume very low there and basically mute it, because I don't want to do that to your podcasters out there.
No, dude, I appreciate the hype. It's great. But yeah, seriously, man, like every time that I've been in your stream, whether it's lurking or trying to have a quick chat, is the thing I noticed the most between you and maybe some more of the like guys who, you know, sell themselves as competitive players, is that your actual community is engaging like the entire time. People are having conversations with you. People are having conversations between each other, you know, like, and that stream is constantly kind of moving, you know what I mean? Like it's a wonderful place to be, in the sense that your community has a strong vibe to it. You know?
Yeah, man, that's I cannot say enough about, you know, my community. It's been very surreal. Like you mentioned, you know, I can't really put it into words, but like just the stream chat, the chat's always just popping off, and like, it's cool to see. I feel like it's a very good reflection of kind of, you know, how I try to live life, both off and on stream. Just try to keep it positive, try to just celebrate another day, you know, being here. And I see that a lot in the chat, you know, so it's really cool. Been very fortunate with the response I've received from my supporters, without a doubt. It's been insane.
Yeah. I think from the amount of watching that I do of content creators across different genres and everything, I think that reflective chat is it happens when somebody has the right passion and does things for the right reason, you know. And I think you're one of those people that, you know, you can tell from this conversation so far that you're super transparent. You know, you are who you are. You know, even though you're playing this character, you know, the real life Spartan, you know, you're managing to do it with all of your morals and all of your enthusiasm and everything that you have as a person. Like there's no difference between the character you're playing and, you know, the real life Spartan. It's all one thing, right? Sure. Super deserved, you know, you deserve it. But I've got a few things I want to get into before we wrap up, and we're coming close to that hour. So I want to know a little bit outside of the stream, right? So yeah, we know that you're a dad. We know that you're working full time and you're doing the stream part time. How long have you and your partner been together?
Yeah, so we have been together since 2015. So it's been awesome, man. It's been a fun ride. We got married in 2017, so not long after we met, and it's been awesome. It's been really cool. Ironically, she does not play Halo, and I'm at fault for that, really. Like, I honestly should have tried to just set up like some of our date nights with the Xbox and do some split screen, initially I was like, yeah, I don't know, like I don't know how she would take it, but now like she'd be all about it. So that's one thing. I'm glad you asked that question, honestly, because that's something that we've been making a to-do list, right? Like trying to think of some fun things to do this summer. And I'm going to put that at the top of the list. I'm going to try to jump into the campaign on Halo CE. And honestly, you gave me a really good idea because I got 2 Xboxes right now too. So we can totally have our own displays. It'll be epic.
Yeah, dude, that's
awesome. All right. Heck yes.
Yeah. Well, my girlfriend and I, Chloe is not a gamer whatsoever, right? Won't do anything.
Sure.
I love asking that question though, because I've been like sneakily trying to get her gaming. Like I've got this little ploy, right? Where the first thing was I got her to download Toon Blast, which is, like a Candy Crush kind of game on her phone.
Yeah.
We kind of both were like racing to get to certain levels on that, right? And then I saw that there was a game called was it Overcooked on Game Pass, and it just looked like
interesting.
It's a kitchen. You're gonna make meals, whatever, but you have to play it with someone. You don't play it solo.
Like the Sims with cooking or something, huh?
Yeah, pretty much.
Kind of.
Like this menu order comes up. You make it. You got to work together to make it. Someone's got to be cooking.
Okay.
Right, whatever. And I got her playing that. And so then she started asking me every now and again. I never brought it up. I always kind of waited, like, hey, and she'd be like, do you want to play a little bit of Overcooked, right? And I'm still trying to work in there. I hope she's not hearing me talk about it right now, but I'm trying to work in there that we're going to work towards playing some Halo campaign as well, because I think in a relationship as well, it's super important that you're involved in each other's passions. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
But
that's take the grunts, take the Covenant, and just kind of put a twist on it. Like, hun, we got to get some more meat for the kitchen,
Yeah, we got to go shopping. Yeah.
Yeah,
for sure. No, that's really awesome. And what about like health fitness side of things for you? Do you do any like training? Do you go to the gym? Like, what is that important to you?
Yeah, that's really important. That's really important, honestly. I would say to anyone out there who is listening right now, I would recommend if you're not already, try to find some ways to balance that into your lifestyle. For me personally, definitely has helped a lot with just my mental health. I do cardio for the most part, with some light lifting as well. Unfortunately, running, as much as I love it and as much as I love how it makes me feel, it's kind of catching up with me now, and I'm starting to notice a lot of pain in the knees and occasionally the hips. So I've been actually kind of transitioning towards cycling. So I've been riding a bike outside. I love getting outside, especially with working full time indoors and then streaming, which is also indoors. Like I really try to put some time aside just to get outdoors and exercise outdoors. So that's what I've been doing for, gosh, man, probably 12 or 13 years now, give or take. And it's worked out really well for me overall to try to just kind of manage everything. So yeah, I highly recommend anyone listening or watching, like if you haven't yet, I would try to just check out like some type of cardio or light lifting. And it can be a challenge at first. It was for me as well, but like once you get into a routine, like, and start to see some of the benefits of it, both like physically and mentally, like it definitely goes a long way. So I try to stick with it. I'm guilty. I'm not as good as I used to be with it all, but I still try to stick with it as much as I can.
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure if you know this, but like one of the big driving factors behind what Divine Mind is about is creating a really healthy balance for gamers, right? So our mission statement is eradicating the negative stigma around gaming. And so that,
let's go. That's cool, man.
You think about gamers, you get the stereotype in your head of overweight or, you kind of get that picture of something in your head. A lot of people think of, around obesity with depression and anxiety and all these other things, bad social skills, unsuccessful, those types of things. And that's complete rubbish, right? There's so many gamers out there, whether they're just enjoying like a few games after work, that have a really good balance, right? the issue that I think there is right now, and why we kind of, it's one of the reasons we started Divine Mind, is the role models of the industry don't get enough time to put out there. Hey, you know, you might see me always online, but I do these things offline because for gamers, right, all of these injuries and things that you can get can come out of nowhere. Because it's not like you're constantly grinding impact, right? But if you sit like this all day, you're doing some long-term damage, right? If you're, you know, tunnel in your wrists and all that joint. So anyway, so for anyone that's interested, we actually put out a workout every single week that takes between 15 to 20 minutes to get done. No equipment needed. It's all bodyweight stuff. It's always different, always got a bit of a different focus. And it's something that you can integrate in between games if you're playing, but it's just to get you up and moving, get some endorphins running, and help kind of get that healthy momentum going as well. So I love to hear that.
That's really cool, man.
Yeah, man, because it's important that we do that.
Are these videos? Is this working just for myself? And I'm sure the people listening, like, where do you find these by chance?
Lots of places, but next time I put one up on Twitter, I'll tag you in it. So then you
can do that. That's really cool. I'll be honest. I'm guilty of not knowing that's where the org was coming from, but that's a neat take. That's a really cool mindset.
Yeah, it's more of a reflection on how much time I spend trying to build brand at the moment, and not enough time working on that mission. But we got to have both for it to work, you know. So
hey, it's all good, man. Time is something that we could all have more of.
Oh, of course. So all right, back to you. I want to know, what do you want to see from Sunday? All right, you load up E3. We're getting news about Halo Infinite. Like, what is on your absolute wish list to see?
Man, saving the big questions for last here. I like that. I like that style. This may not be as exciting as you were hoping for, but honestly, I want to see a Halo game at its core. I want the gameplay to scream Halo, and I want the performance to be there, right? So the game needs to perform very well from a performance point of view. And it needs to feel like a Halo game at its core. If the game isn't fun, if the content is not there, people aren't going to stick around. So at launch, well, this is getting a little ahead, but at launch, it needs to fire on all cylinders. So the content has to be there for people, both from a ranked point of view, a social point of view. The coolest thing about Halo to me is how much depth there is to all the different places within Halo, from Forge to Montage, Griffball, whatever else, Infection. Like, there's so many different outlets that are there. So from Sunday, I just hope to see a Halo game that we've all come to love over the years. There's definitely a lot of uncertainties out there in the community, rightfully so. But you just got to believe and have some faith. Lots at play. I could talk to you about this for a long time, but there's a lot at play. Clearly, there's a lot at stake. A very ambitious project, Liam, I'll say that. I mean, you think about the fact that they are trying to launch this game on so many different platforms. It's big, man. That's a lot to try to tackle. Not to mention they have this brand new take on campaign with the open world and whatnot that they're trying to accomplish. So there's just a lot of moving pieces. It'll be interesting to see how it all kind of wraps and ties together. But Sunday, I want some core Halo gameplay that I can get behind.
Yeah, cool. So both, you want a bit of a mixture of more campaign kind of footage and a little bit of this is what multiplayer is going to look like as well, or do you want just give me lots of? I should
have specified that. I want to see multiplayer, man. I want to see that multiplayer. I mean, campaign, I'll run for the campaign. I'm sure it'll be fun. But I'm kind of a one and done kind of Spartan with campaign. I'm going to be spending hundreds, if not thousands, of hours on the multiplayer front. So I want multiplayer. If I was behind the thought process going into Sunday, I would look, and this is hopefully what they've been doing from the get-go, but I would look at nothing but community feedback. I would get input from people in the community. What can we pack into this trailer to get people hyped up and having goosebumps? Like what they did today, EA did with the Battlefield 2042.
Yeah.
Right. They even had a little nod to that little. No, I shouldn't say it's little. It was really crazy at the time. back, I forget what Battlefield title it was, but when the guy like ejected out of the jet, rocketed the other jet, and then got back in his jet, like they had that little nod in their trailer today. So like throw some BXRs in there, throw an iconic map that we've all recognized and love in there. Like, heck, I would love to even see some pros going up against one another. Like, give us some raw gameplay. Like, give us some actual gameplay, right? So that's what I'm hoping for. Like, come Sunday, I'd like to see a blend. Like, we can have a multiplayer trailer, or we could just have a little campaign sneak peek, like to show where the campaign's gone over the last year. But most of it, I wanted to just to be driving the point home for multiplayer and just get some gameplay up for people. I mean, it's crazy. We're in June, and it's the first Halo, to my knowledge, besides maybe Halo 4, where like there hasn't been a public beta yet, or a public beta within a week or so. So like it'll be really interesting. I know there's some speculation around maybe a beta opening up after the event.
What are your thoughts? Do you reckon that'll happen?
I'm sorry?
What are your thoughts? Do you reckon there's a chance of getting a beta or something picking up afterwards?
I don't think so. I don't think initially. I mean, there's always that possibility, but I don't think initially. I think if something does happen, it'll be later this summer. And that kind of just circles back to what I mentioned a little bit ago of so many moving pieces at play. I just don't like, we just haven't seen enough yet. And I'm just not convinced yet. I'm not convinced that they're ready for that. Like we have had like these Inside Infinite updates, but we haven't seen any like actual like gameplay, like video, right? Like we've seen some screenshots. They've kept everything really, really wrapped up and concealed from the public, which I respect that in a lot of ways. I think that's really cool, not to spoil. But in other ways, you know, it does have me questioning like the development right now. Like how far along are they? I think a lot of those questions will probably be answered on Sunday.
Well, they have to.
But
be, like they have to.
Yeah. Unless we're gonna have another delay, you know, because I mean it's crunch time, right? I mean, it's got to go gold at some point. Like, so
I think, and I think you hit the nail on the head for Sunday, right? Like this is the time where everything that they've worked on for the last year is like, they should be at the point, I feel like right now, they should be at the point where they're really proud of it. They know that there's finishing touches and stuff. They've got time for some finishing touches and whatever. But right now it needs to be, I am so pumped to bring you all this work we've done. And here is a montage of that work, right? Like here's what the sound's going to sound like, and have a scene that's set up perfectly to demonstrate all the things they've been talking about with sounds. Have a scene to show, you know, the different game modes. What does the flag look like? What does the oddball look like? What does the scoring system look like? What does the post game look like? What does the menu look like? And it just needs to be like all this stuff that we can then, as you know, people that are super passionate about it, we can watch it back 4 or 5 times and keep being like, oh my God, did you see that? Like, oh my God, did you see this? You know, and that's where that hype comes from, because, and then you're going to get someone like Remy who's going to watch it in like, you know, frame by frame, and he's going to put a YouTube video out there where, sure. That's what we need. We need these things to be kind of super relevant that come into it, and we slowly find more and more of it, right? So that one launch that we're going to go on Sunday lasts for weeks, and then something else comes, and then, you know, and then we ride us the whole way there. That's how I feel about it anyway.
You said it much better than me. But dude, that's absolutely no, I can get on board with everything you just mentioned, right? Because there's got to be a lot of juicy details there for people to dissect and get excited around. Because with it releasing for, you know, I don't know when it's releasing, October, November, whenever, like there's got to be some stuff to hold us over and get the hype train building back up. Because I don't want to sound negative with what I was just responding to a little bit ago. I mean, there are so many pieces at play. That's what I'm nervous about from a performance point of view. Trying to get this to run on a 2013 Xbox, but still feel like a next gen console game. That's my concern. However, it could go both ways when you look at free to play multiplayer. And if they do get these all to be intertwined and work well with one another, the population and the just the eyes on
Oh,
Halo.
yeah. Could you imagine 1 million people playing?
Endless potential, right?
Yeah. Could you imagine 1 million people playing Halo again? Like online,
Dude.
same time, 1 million people.
And that could very well happen if the core gameplay is there and fun and stable at launch, like servers, everything, like it's got to fire on all cylinders on launch. It cannot have a botched launch.
Yeah.
It cannot. I mean, it has to be a perfect launch. It really does. I mean, there's so much at stake from uncertainty in the community. I mean, the community is so darn divided. That's a whole other story. But like, it's got to be a fun game, and
I think
it's got to be functional at launch.
Yeah, 100%.
on all systems.
Yeah, and I think the next thing is presuming that is the case, right? It has to be functional at launch, right? Presuming that's the case, then they have to have a solid idea of what they're doing with that much attention, right? So like a good example, I love using Call of Duty for this example because I think that they do a really good job of maintaining a player base for a while. Warzone brings a lot of people in. So now when you load into Cold War, for example, you've got 3 menus, right? And one of them is Warzone. The next one over here is for your multiplayer and everything. Whichever you click on, there's a story being told to you. There is a battle pass, there's a season, there's unlockables, there's rewards, there's details about things, there's competitions. And so you have this story, no matter what element you're coming into the game, you've got this story for you to uncover about Call of Duty. All right. I think Halo has such a more dense lore and beautiful story to be
without a doubt.
And imagine though that you load up Halo Infinite for the first time. You think that the bulk of the people that are going to buy the game are going to be playing it for the campaign initially. You get into the campaign, you play through that story, and as you're doing that, little elements of the multiplayer trickle into the campaign. The story starts to unravel, right? And then you finish the campaign, you're like, oh, halfway through the campaign, I unlocked this thing that was to do with multiplayer. I should go check multiplayer out. You go play multiplayer. That thing that you unlocked starts getting you hyped about trying to do another challenge that's only for multiplayer, right? And you have this big battle pass story. I'm not saying that you need to pay for battle pass or anything of that type. I don't want to get into it. Just there's this story that keeps you like, kids finish school, can't wait to get home and play Halo. Adults finish work, can't wait to play Halo. You finish work on a Friday afternoon, you want to go home and play until your eyes bleed. That is the hype that needs to be there.
That's great, man. That's what I want to experience again. That's what we all want to, experience again.
I just hope that when anyone listens to me say that, they go, I want that, because I think that's I think that's what it needs. And exactly to your point as well, if it's a finished game, that's definitely going to be a really beneficial thing for it. And then as a AAA company that makes as much money as they do, there needs to be that, what now? Hey, well, fuck yeah, we nailed the launch. What are we doing with all these people? Where are we putting them?
It's got to be a big roadmap, for the competitive side and also for just everything else that will be coming or hopefully be in the game from like a content point of view, like those core social game types and all that good stuff. But yeah, I mean, Tashi, I have a lot of respect. I mean, the dude's killing it. I'm excited to see what he has rolling out for the competitive side of things. Tashi and Muggsy, all those guys, like they've already kind of teased at some of that stuff. But yeah, like I hear you 100%, man. Like, got to hit the ground, got to be functioning at launch, have to have some type of roadmap out in place for the competitive scene, so people can start to plan and organize around, X amount of tournaments in 2021 or whatever, like in the US or wherever, like whatever.
A good example is I've got to know what's my time frame to start flying Australian players over.
Right.
So we can build our community around what's happening here. So it'll be really interesting. But we're running out of time. I've got 2 things to ask you before we finish up, and that is, I ask these same questions to everybody. If you could see yourself 5 years from now, what does the Real Life Spartan's dream reality look like 5 years from now?
Oh man, that's a good one, man. Hopefully, still got a strong growing family, like on a personal side of things. But as far as what I'm doing now, I just hope I'm still in the gaming scene, whether it be streaming or actively involved at, a game developer studio, either, helping on the community side of things or just helping on the design process. So it'd be cool, it'd be cool to continue streaming, but it would also be cool to get behind the scenes quite literally and get involved in other ways as well.
Yeah. Awesome. I love
Yeah.
that. That's good. That's good. That's a good bit of vision that you've got there. I love it. And the last question is obviously Remy tagged you in. We ask everybody just to kind of think of someone that you'd like to tag in that you think has an interesting story. They've got value to add that you think, if I sat down with them for an hour, we'd be able to get into some great topics and give a really good show to the audience. Who would you like to tag?
Oh man, there's so many out there. Gosh. Oh man, so many out there. Okay, so I'm going to give a one of the new grassroots members some love here.
Mm-hmm.
And she also has tons of enthusiasm around Halo, and just got done organizing a little event that we're going to be doing Friday. Little grassroots event Friday. I shouldn't be calling it little. It's going to be big. Anyway, I'll stop rambling now. Oaf X. I think she may have like a number at the end of her name or whatnot. But yeah, she recently was invited to the grassroots program, and I think it'd be cool to kind of get her take on where she came from.
Love it.
For sure.
Well, I'll let you kind of tag her, do whatever, let her know that she's going to be getting a message from me. So she's not like, who's these random guys?
What is going on here?
Messaging me about a podcast, but I'll let you do that. And then we'll get Oath in here and we'll sit down, get a bit more of her story as well, because it'd be super interesting to learn slowly more and more about all the grassroots members, which is awesome. Before we finish up though, man, is there anything else that you really wanted to kind of go through and talk about?
I think you nailed it, honestly. I'm just keeping calm like you and everyone else out there for Sunday, and just for the release of Halo Infinite, because it will at some point happen. And when it does happen, I'm still hanging tight and hoping that it's going to be an incredible day and many years to come for us Halo fans out there. I look forward to keeping tabs on you and your team moving forward as well, man. I would like to definitely get involved at the events with Halo Infinite. So hopefully we'll be able to cross paths in person, and some big salutes. And
yeah, I was joking on a previous podcast that I've already started saving up for my beer shouts. For all the people that we're talking to online, it's going to either be one big night or a few really big nights of being like, hey, I owe you a beer, let's go.
Man, big fun.
Yeah. So thank you so much for your time to chat
Sure.
on the podcast. It was awesome to get to know you. I definitely found out more about you than what I knew previously. And I already had a lot of respect for the content that you were building and the community that you've got, but we just grew that even more by getting to see how humble you are, and you're one of those people that come into Infinite with all these new eyeballs and attention coming on it. You're someone that really deserves to blow up. So I wish you all the best for Infinite.
Hey, I appreciate that, man. Thank you.
And I say to everyone as well, we'll look at chatting again, maybe 6 months or 3 months into Infinite. I'll reach out and say, hey, let's have another chat and see how things are going since our last podcast, and that way we can kind of keep track on where everyone's going, see how things.
Yeah, that sounds great. That sounds awesome, man. Keep up the awesome work, and appreciate everybody tuning in and sticking out this what was probably a little longer than you and your viewers were thinking the podcast would go, but hopefully it was good for everyone out there.
I'll let you know if you're taking the record. I think so far an hour and 20 minutes, but that went so fast I didn't even realize we've been talking. So an hour and 20 minutes is the longest. I'll let you know with that. But
sure.
Guys, thank you so much for everyone that tuned in and watched this episode of the podcast. I appreciate you. I know the Real Life Spartan appreciates you. If you wanna be able to check out any more of the Real Life Spartan's content, links are obviously always in the description. He's the first person there. Click on everything that you can. Watch him on stream, play with the shaker weight, get the alarms going. Obviously, always in his armor and looking like an absolute legend. So yeah, the links are down there, guys. If there's anything else you want to see, if there's someone you want to have on the podcast and we haven't reached out to them yet, leave the comments down below. Let us know, guys. I'm here to make this a better podcast for you. But Real Life Spartan, thank you so much again for your time, and I'll see everybody on the next episode of the podcast.